My faith is brightest in the midst of impenetrable darkness. Truth without humility would be an arrogant caricature. That service is the noblest which is rendered for its own sake. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. I suppose leadership at one time meant muscles, but today it means getting along with people. You can chain me, you can torture me, you can even destroy this body, but you will never imprison my mind. To give pleasure to a single heart by a single act is better than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. Man falls from the pursuit of the ideal of planned living and high thinking the moment he wants to multiply his daily wants. It is the quality of our work which will please God and not the quantity. Man becomes great exactly in the degree in which he works for the welfare of his fellow men.
The true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members.
Faith is not something to grasp, it is a state to grow into. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. Prayer is the key of the morning and the bolt of the evening. Where there is love, there is life.
An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind. A customer is the most important visitor on our premises.
Truth is one, paths are many. Self-respect knows no considerations. Action expresses priorities. Common sense is the realized sense of proportion. The future depends on what you do today. Doubt is invariably the result of want or weakness of faith.
True beauty consists of purity of heart.
Find purpose, the means will follow. There is no way to peace, there is only peace.
Healthy discontent is the prelude to progress.
Imitation is the sincerest flattery. Fear has its use, but cowardice has none. Peace is its own reward. Full effort is full victory.
Whatever I do is out of love.
I am a humble but very earnest seeker after truth. Whatever you do may seem insignificant to you, but it is most important that you do it. There are 2 days in the year that we cannot do anything, yesterday and tomorrow.
What is true of the individual will be tomorrow true of the whole nation if individuals will refuse to lose heart and hope.
Unwearied ceaseless effort is the price that must be paid for turning faith into a rich, infallible experience. Freedom is not worth having if it does not connote freedom to err. There is no principle worth the name if it is not wholly good. Nothing has saddened me so much in life as the hardness of heart of educated people. It is better to be violent, if there is violence in our hearts, than to put on the cloak of nonviolence to cover impotence. Here are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread. The human voice can never reach the distance that is covered by the still small voice of conscience. Rights that do not flow from duty well performed are not worth having. If I had no sense of humor, I would long ago have committed suicide.
Anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding.
A man's true wealth hereafter is the good he has done to his fellowmen.
The person who discovered the law of love was a far greater scientist than any of our modern scientists.
I first learned the concepts of nonviolence in my marriage. Intolerance betrays want of faith in one's cause. I cannot conceive of a greater loss than the loss of one's self-respect. Nonviolence is impossible without humility.
He who would sacrifice his life for others has hardly time to reserve for himself a place in the sun.
True humility means most strenuous and constant endeavor entirely directed towards the service of humanity.